Hello. Will you please say and spell your first and last name?
My name is Alicia Raimundo. It's ALICIA RAIMUNDO.
Alicia, this is the first time I'm meeting Alicia. We've been talking to each other for a very long time on Facebook and all the other social medias. It is a great honor to meet you finally after all this time. I'm really grateful. Alicia, what does mental health mean to you?
Mental health means to me is something that we all have. So we all have that feeling of feeling stressed, of happiness, of being anxious when something happens. And so what people don't realize is that while a certain amount of us may live with mental illness or may live with what happens when those emotions get really hard, it's a continuum. So there's a level of distress that we've all felt. We've all really gotten a tough conversation with our boss and not felt really good, and we've all felt that surge of happiness when something we wanted happened. And so we all have mental health, and it's on this great continuum, and I just really want to better support people like me who've experienced anxiety and depression, and people like you who are kind of on the other end of the continuum, who are having a hard time and who feel like this is, they feel out of control. They feel like nobody else feels that way. And I just want to really show them that mental health is something we all have, and that these feelings, so many people around the world have them.
Alicia, what do you do every day for your mental health? Give me one or two things you do every day for your mental well-being.
So this is gonna sound silly, but one thing that me and my partner are really into is playing video games. And so I have some games on my phone. They're quite simple and fun, and I play them for my mental health. One of the things that I really do for my mental health is advocate, because there's certain things that are broken in systems and the way that people get help and the way that people ask for help that are broken. So I really want to help fix them, and instead of getting held up in how they're not working for me, I want to make sure that I can help create the system that I need to use so that it works for myself and for the people coming up next.
Wow. And you said you deal with anxiety and depression. Now, what is one of the projects or a couple of the projects you're working on right now that you think is really important to highlight in this video? What are you doing right now to help the mental health field or suicide prevention in general?
So one of the things that I've just got involved with is an app called Talk Life, and what Talk Life is a online peer support app, and so it has about 100,000 users, most of which are young people. We get about 40,000 posts a day, and so to help that app and community grow and have conversations about people reaching out when they're in that dark place, and what do they need to hear, and how can we give it to them, and how can we make sure they have a positive experience. So that kind of wraps into what I've been doing for a while, is really I want to use technology for good. I know that our young people Google things before they show up somewhere. I know that they want an app, or they want to have an online experience, and that's the first place they reach out, and I want more great things to be in that space, more engaging things that will help them get the help they need.
Awesome. Alicia, tell me and tell us about being a mental health superhero.
So the term mental health superhero came when I was actually writing my Twitter bio for the first time. And I was looking around being like, what do you put in here? And I want to make something interesting. So I put superhero in training. And when they approached me to do a TEDx talk, I had no idea what I was going to say, because I didn't know what I was going to say was going to be important enough. And so somebody asked me, so why do you have that superhero in your bio? And then I thought about it, and I said, when I was growing up, I felt like Spider-Man. I felt like I was living one life that was a friend, a family member, a loved one. And then I was living another life that was this person who, and I put on this mask to go fight my own personal bad guys. And just like the story of Spider-Man, it wasn't sustainable for me. Eventually something was going to break. And what happened for me is the skills I had to fight my bad guys suddenly became not good enough, and then all of a sudden I wasn't a very good member of society, a good friend, a good sister, and nobody knew why. They just knew the person that they wanted to be friends with wasn't there anymore. And so I told people I really wanted to be like Iron Man. And there's a really interesting scene in the first Iron Man movie where he's just like pretending to hide, and in the middle of the press conference he goes, "Screw it, I'm Iron Man." And that's kind of how I want it to be. Screw it, this is who I am. I live with anxiety, I have my own bad guys, and I'm going to be open with that and honest with it. And I found that it's been so much easier for me not to have to hide, but also for my family and friends to know what's going on, and to know it's okay to ask me questions and to learn about what's going on. And it's been great, because the people who are scared of mental health and mental illness have kind of opted out of my life, and that's okay, but I've met so many amazing and friendly and awesome people like yourself.
Alicia, thank you very much for doing this interview. Appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome.
Nice to meet you, and let's move on to the way forward to zero suicide. And thank you, Alicia Raimundo. Thank you very much.